coming tomorrow. That's gonna help me with the last bit of gold chain that I got this year in 2020 when everything was closing down. My local bank account here, they denied me. I was not able to get my own money transferred in the middle of this pandemic because I didn't have a payslip. Well, if you're a micro entrepreneur, you don't have a payslip necessarily. So I ditched all of my small businesses, 2 or 3 companies, half a house, most of my business colleagues that were just following the script, not realizing that everything has changed permanently. And I bought gold using cash and ATMs and then some Bitcoin. Much left of any of that, but it was the right thing to do. And right now, my stress levels are finally really going down. So I've had periods where I've been able to cut through and isolate this underlying stress before that, of course. Especially in Nepal, especially Tibetan monasteries there. But it's been this underlying stress. Especially because so few people understand what's going on. Now that's changed, and all the people I bother to build any relations with now are at least more or less on the same page, at least on the page of, at least dedicated to freedom and independence, sovereignty, or whatever you call it. That's the common denominator, and that's the only people I ever felt good around, and that's the only people I'm ever gonna make any effort to relate to, which is why I do these videos that like I get 2 or 3 likes. I don't need thousands of followers. I don't want that. I want a few that I can work with. So today I realized one thing, and that is here there is a much healthier, like undergrowth or a jungle, than I thought. Coin dealers, collectors. I mean, I should know my own country, but one of the things is that these people don't really necessarily enjoy being online, or they don't put any effort into marketing. So there's this one coin dealer fair that's going to be held on the 6th of June, and they told me about it. It's like I tried to find it online, I can't find it. Lots of outdated sites, but lots of tiny shops, lots of vendors. And one of my old contacts, that's always been on the side of freedom, like one of my few remaining friends here, he said that, according to his opinion, there's this new undergrowth. People start businesses like that. That's really something that makes my stress level go down. Because in this globalist hellscape, it looked like these technocrats, I know the digitalization. I've been having a peek into how that's happening because I've been in IT with my own companies. I've never been involved deeply, but I've seen and some of my team members where I've seen the digital gulag being formed around us. But I thought that there was not enough here for me to basically even survive in a sensible way in my own home country. And that's like, if that doesn't give you existential, I don't fear it. being able to do something constructive. That's been the problem for 5 or 6 years. But the footwork, biding my time, again and again, I've tried to start something new a dozen times. But the criteria has not been there. The conditions have not been there. And not rushing it seems to be paying off now. It's the first time in many years that I feel that there is some tiny ground for optimism. It took me 5, 6 years to develop the small companies that I walked away from in 2020. So that 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I've done these things several times, but 12 years ago I started like working for real. Conditions back then were already not good. But I didn't feel like I had it. This is the thing. Once you're a we, that's been my basic thinking for 20 years. It's been my basic thinking that I always want to be a we. I was a freelancer before that. Once you have a business partner and you can like honestly say like we do this, the whole dialogue is different. And for those 5 years, the one partner that I was really working hard together with, both of us had two legit actual companies with actual turnover. So sometimes I would go, if I wanted to, I could go like, well, I've got two business cards. Which one do you want? That's really powerful. But then the whole world changed. I was going to put on a suit unless I want to use that in constructive ways. Should I start a new company in fiat when I can use Bitcoin and Monero and gold and silver, which is what I'm dealing with now? This is what I'm considering. But it's not going to be here. There's no new genuine economy here at all. The shop owners I talk to all agree it's very hard to get something started. Unless it's pure bullshit. And so much of it is sponsored indirectly by the state. I know that beast. Or someone's savings. It's just done for. Like most of Europe. Well, it's a couple of weeks since I got rid of a visa that was a serious drag in the thumb. Like living in a country where you end up with your family obligations and you're on a retirement visa, it just doesn't something to my mind at least. Because there's no way I could justify anything. If you get checked, and you get checked, which is kind of the way it should be. Some had some big things around close family not being around in the physical realm any longer too. So, but ultimately, it's when things get really bad, it's the ones that panic the first that do the best. But this is a slow-moving glacial, very complex breakup and breakdown of Europe. So you can't just. Now, I do not regret all of the testing, the mapping, and all of the training of myself and talking points and all of that time I've been preparing is now there can be hundreds or thousands of hours between something, and then it crystallizes in a moment, and you get some deal, you get something sorted. That's not random, that's not luck. That's creating your own luck. The conditions for having seemingly random things happening. And that's what I've done before. That's what I guess it's a challenge for myself. This can I do the same thing again under these conditions? The problem has been you can't talk openly about things. I think that is also about to change because there's a large numbers of people who know, and especially with this latest cruise ship scam, no one believes it. It's not going to bite. Because the problem is when you have, let's say you're traveling through a couple of airports and suddenly there's this panic of some sort. As long as you're in that setting, they got you 100% under control. But be very careful. So, if something nasty happens and someone wants to invade my body or something, there are ways of talking to people, and there are ways of refusing that are better. But it's not a good situation. I'm 100% pure blood. I I weathered the thing in Asia, not doing any tests. That was not easy. Talk about burning capital and social capital without getting anything in return other than your future survival and freedom. It's been my investment for the past few years. And talking about spending time, and I've studied how things around upheavals, and troubles, and periods where you have social challenges. I've studied that for ages. Since the 80s, I find it fascinating. So I guess it's part of my reason to exist is to do these things now. Because individuals are not supposed to go along with insane collectivist being talk about being a frog in a boiling pot. Hell no. There's hens here. I bet they are not registered with the government. I hope so. And a dog. Anyway, I do want to get back to the more unruly countries. I definitely need to go back to Nepal. That's my kind of mental, on a deep level, it's my home. I really just feel at home there. And it's sane. People are sane compared to here. Reminds me of the 70s somehow. Uh, Egypt, I think it's one thing that people don't notice. I've only been there for 5 nights. Yeah, I did not. It was impossible to miss one fact. Truly hungry. It's no joke. So no wonder some people turn out. But when you see that big picture, they are fun because you can be a bit fiery. You can push back. If you turn it around with a glimmer in the eye, then you can make friends on a level to start off with. Yeah. Today we also had a guy hanging around in this coin dealer shop a bit. They've helped me. I'm having around there a lot actually. They've helped me a lot. We had a guy coming in that was looking for trouble. It's 30 years ago since I felt that kind of. This guy is not only nasty but dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a knife on him. Anyway, it's not too hard to avoid those kind of things. Social skills. That's something I've been taking an interest in for years. And more about that later. I have no idea if this is gonna get any traction on YouTube. it's a YouTube is almost dead, of course. You gotta start somewhere. I've got lots of weird accounts. Noster Odyssey, BitChute. Well, we'll pull them together. But the business project I want to do is curated, half-automated, cross-platform publishing where I combine AI, coding AI, setting up as much as I can of a half-automated, automated workflow, and then have workers like me do the same. I've lived for as low as $7 a day. Help good businesses, good causes, like deeply anti-corporate, to spread across platforms. We'll see where that goes. The prototyping is kind of half done. There are some candidates. The jurisdiction thing remains. We'll see. Bit of history. This is a very German wall. There used to be officer barracks up here, actually. In 1990, before the first Iraq war, and when our king died, I was in uniform up here. In 1990, Soviet Union is still around when things went boom in Iraq. So things are close. These are horseshoes. I would guess they just used. Well, they are not actually worn. They just used horseshoes to create. To tie up the horses. So here during the war and after, the horses were lined up. Kind of want to get some of them and forge them into something else, but we'll see. And I've gotten a few books from that period, from that war. I'll go through them. I grew up with the people. When I grew up in the 70s, everyone were talking about that constantly. Everyone was the war, the war, the war, the war. And everyone who were working basically had experienced that. And parents, of course. There's a lot to be said about that. Actually, here, there's health data from that are very interesting. The rates for like heart disease, maybe I think maybe I know it's for sure heart disease, heart attacks, and ischemia and these things. You have a rate before the war. During the war, it just dropped off a cliff, and the years a bit after, it took a while before it was climbing because of rationing. So people like me, I'm starving myself these days to get back in shape. People were literally starving. Oh, well, they were not starving. People were living in very frugal ways, eating weird things, almost no sugar, much less milk, no additives, of course. I mean, this is 80 plus years ago, and they got really healthy. Imagine. So, my way of surviving here, if I come back, I might buy a boat. If I decide not to go back to Asia for a few months, waiting for my passport renewal, and I feel that the conditions are good for building something while I'm here, I might get a boat. Because you get to stay away from almost anyone who's in a boat during the night or daytime and when it's raining. If you live in a boat, you avoid almost all of the people. It does something to you when if you take being at sea seriously, it does something to you. If you don't take it seriously, it's dangerous. So it's a refreshing environment. But we'll see. Until mid June, I have the time until the 6th, 7th, 8th of June to decide, and I'll keep posting. And then we'll see. There are bunkers up here. Maybe I'll hide some silver. I need to get used to that idea. Because there's no fucking way that these commies are gonna take me down. Not after being a half-boiled frog. I think I've been kind of jumping out. I've never been like at the bottom of that pot with frogs being boiled, but it was not easy to do the last bit of jumping to get out of it. But here we are. Feels great. Just do it. Bail. Get out of Europe or stay here. Get out of the system. Build something new locally. Hang around with sensible people. It's the only way. I mean, I could go on forever, but goodness, like this university thing here. Okay, that's all. Good luck.